Hey, welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for stopping by once again. I have something a little bit different for you today, and I really hope you enjoy it. We are going to be making those rings out of polygel. You know, those polygel rings that everyone is making. I wanted to try my hand at making some too. So right here, I'm showing you that I have made some rings in the past, but these are not made out of polygel. These are actually made out of resin, and I do still need to work on them and do a little bit of filing, and I was trying to see why they had never hardened 100%. As you could see, the yellow one, it was giving me a little bit of give. So I was like, well, maybe they just have to be hardened for a longer time. So I threw them back in my lamp and tried to see if they would harden up. I'm going to check on them today. Maybe they needed a little bit of time to settle. I'm not sure. Maybe that could mean that I didn't mix the resin correctly. But if I remember correctly, I was using UV resin on these rings, so I didn't have to mix any ratios. So I'm not sure why they stayed kind of flexible. I guess it's not a bad thing. They are cured on the outside. I'm just trying to figure out why they're still a little flexible. And so, but for me, maybe it's a little bit easier to wear the ring if it's a little flexible and not, I'm not sure. We'll see. I don't even know what I'm talking about. It's really, really early in the morning. I wanted to record this video for you guys, and I can't even find my words. So I had already started this polygel ring off camera. Don't you worry. We are going to make another ring together so you can see what I did from start to finish. So don't you worry about that. I'm just showing you what I was doing in the process of me making this one. So just hold on, and by the end of the video, we will make another ring together. I've seen quite a few people make their polygel rings on top of some plastic wrap. I didn't have any, therefore I didn't use any. But I'm not gonna lie, I did have a little bit of trouble getting the rings off the tops of the polish bottles. Although I put a layer of base coat, it still was difficult for me to get the ring off the bottle. And I actually ended up cracking the ring a little bit by trying to remove it. So you will see in just a second how I was able to repair the ring so that it didn't completely break. So I went in and cured the ring for about a minute and a half, just to make sure that it is fully cured. Here I am showing you one of the resin rings that I made, and I put real flowers inside. These rings were made a little bit ago, so I never made a video on them, a tutorial on them, just because it's a little craft that I do kind of on the side, off camera. But if these crafts are something that you guys would like to see, when I'm doing them, if you'd like to, because my channel is based mainly on nails. But I do like to do crafts. I love arts and crafts. And so I actually made a separate channel. It was kind of like cooking and crafts. I didn't really use it. I'm not really using that channel. But the other day I started thinking about the channel, and I kind of wanted to start uploading on that channel again. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be using that channel kind of more actively and putting more cooking vlogs and putting more crafts on that channel, because I don't really want to add crafting videos to my nail channel. It doesn't bother me too much. I just don't want you guys to be confused. I don't want you guys to be watching content that you're not interested in. So please let me know if you are interested in crafting videos. And if they don't bother you, then maybe I will just make a separate playlist on this channel. I'm not really sure what I'm going to be doing. But again, I want this channel to mainly be nails as it has always been. But again, I've been thinking about my crafting channel lately, so I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, but I'll figure it out. So right here, I am just adding a little bit of polygel to the ring where it was cracked, and I am going to be able to repair it very, very easily, so do not worry about that. I'm just smoothing the resin out and making sure that the cracks are covered, and the rest of the polygel I'm just going to smooth out into the rest of the ring so that it doesn't look like there's just a blob of polygel on there. You want to really make sure that it's nice and smooth. I just called the polygel resin. This is not resin. This is polygel. I think I'm just so used to working with resin. I didn't mean to say resin. This is polygel. So after taking the polygel off the top of the nail polish bottle, the polish bottle had these white polka dots on the bottle itself. And as I was removing the ring off the, off the top of the bottle, the ring ended up picking up the little polka dots on, off the bottle, and I was not able to remove them. I didn't know how to remove them. So honestly, I just left them there. I just top coated it. It's on the inside of the ring. It's not going to bother me too much. But see, as you can see there, I don't know. I tried to take acetone alcohol. I definitely could visit these rings back and do a little bit of electric filing inside of them. I'm trying to do my best and buff and file the rings so that they're not sharp for me to wear, so that I can smooth them out. And I'm just showing you what I do here to kind of buff the ring out so that they're nice and smooth. The next step I am going to do is apply a coat of top coat, and this is a gel top coat. Sorry, I am sleepy. This is a gel top coat that I am applying to the top and sides of the ring. I am going to do the outside of the ring first, and then I will do the inside of the ring. I am going to cure the entire ring with this top coat for 1 minute. I then gave the ring about another minute or two to completely make sure that the ring is fully cured. I don't want the ring to not be cured. I want it to be 100% cured. I don't want any flexibility. So I took the ring off the top of the bottle, and now I am going to top coat the inside of the ring and give it another minute or two to cure. So overall, you should probably be giving the ring maybe 3 to 5 minutes to cure completely, in my opinion. You just want to give the ring the full amount of curing time that you can give it, again, to make sure that it's fully cured. You don't want to add anything on top of your fingers that is not fully cured, of course. So here is our ring completed. I think it is adorable. I love the color, and I love the silver flower on top of the ring. Here it is on me. Super, super cute. I love it. I love the way that it came out. Very, very easy to make if you follow along with the steps. We are going to be making another ring in just a minute. I tried on this bottle, and then I didn't even realize that there was a sticker on the bottle, and I, for some reason, couldn't remove the sticker at the moment, so I just grabbed another bottle. Here we go. So what I am doing is I am putting kind of like a ring of top coat all around the bottle, and you're going to see exactly what I'm going to do. I'm keeping the shape all the way evenly around. I know it's really hard to tell, but you can tell by the way that I'm doing it that I'm keeping or trying to keep the shape as thin or thick as possible. It's up to you. I just don't want the polygel to stick, although it ends up sticking anyways. I think a plastic wrap around the bottle is probably the best bet. I do have one other idea that I'm going to try, and I might try it out today. And if it does work, then I'll make a video about it. I'll probably make a video regardless, even if it works or doesn't work. But here I am. I'm showing you right here what I do and how I apply the polygel. It is very easy to apply. I would just push all of the polygel down to the bottom of the bottle so that you don't have a problem with squeezing, and I would hold on to the bottle and do one, like I'm not sure if you saw, but I did not let go of pressure. I applied pressure as I was putting the ring of polygel all around the bottle. So just make sure that you apply pressure, not too much pressure, because you might have too much polygel that'll come out at once. So just be careful of how much polygel you are using at once. Of course, you don't want to waste any. If you don't have extra polygel to work with, I probably wouldn't use too much. The only thing that I would worry about if you make it too thin is when you are trying to remove it and it might crack. So try not to make the rings too thin. As you can see here, you can tell that there's one side of the ring that's thinner and the other side that is thicker. So I'm hoping with the angles I'm able to show you exactly what I'm doing. Now this is so much fun because you can add whatever shapes, you can make your rings whatever thin or thickness you want, whatever colors. You can add gel, sequins, you could add charms, beads, rhinestones. The possibilities are endless, just like the possibilities in nail art are kind of just endless. Same thing with these rings. You are able to create whatever type of ring that you'd like. You can mix colors. Like I said, the possibilities are just endless. Now, I know it's hard to notice on camera, but I am applying slight pressure. I'm not pushing in really hard because then you'll ruin the ring. Remember, you have not cured it yet. So I'm still molding and making sure that trying to make sure that all sides of the ring is even. As you can tell, one of the sides of the ring was super thin, so I was able to drag some of the polygel to the other side and make sure as best that I can, to make sure that it is even on both sides. It's a little difficult, but if you try and give yourself a couple minutes to kind of mold the gel around the rim or the top of the bottle, you really want to make sure that you don't have one side super thin and the other side's thick. So just try your best to make sure that you are thin all around the ring, or not thin. You are just as thick or thin, however you want it. But remember, I would recommend not having the ring too thin because you don't want it to crack. I am excited. I'm going to continue to make more rings, probably off camera. And then if the idea that I have in my head, if it works, then I will do another video on how I made my newer rings. I apologize. I kind of got off camera when I was making this heart, so my apologies for this one. That never really happened, so I'm not really sure what happened here. So again, my apologies for this part right here. So I made that little heart, and now I am going to attach it to the rest of the ring. You saw there that I just applied a little bit of polygel just so that I can attach the two pieces together. And you know what? The silicone mat is best for me to work on little pieces like this. Usually I just use it for like a little mat for my polishes or my paint brushes to drip if they have extra, polish or gel on them, just so it doesn't land on my surface. I love to use this mat. It's easy to clean up with acetone or some alcohol, or just some I wouldn't say soap of water. If there wasn't any gel on it, I would say soap and water. But if there's gel on it, I would definitely use some acetone to get the gel off. If it's wet, if you still have some polygel on that silicone mat, sometimes what I do is I just put the whole thing into the light, and then as the gel cures, I am able to just pick the gel off of the mat, and it is good to use for the next use. And I love polygel because it just stays in place. It doesn't move. You are able to mold it into whatever shape you want. You can mold it however you want. So I love polygel so much. I'm more of a builder gel girl, but I think I'm going to start practicing a lot more with polygel. Just a quick tip, if you are using a nail polish bottle to make these rings, I would look for the top of the polish bottles to be a little bit thicker. I mean, if you have really small, slender fingers, I'll probably look for a smaller, thinner, nail polish bottle top. I tend to have, I think I'm a size 7 on most of my fingers. My middle finger might be a 7.5 or 8. I'm not really sure. I'm just guessing because the rest of my fingers are a 7. Well, my pointer and my ring, I believe, are 7. I think my middle's at 8. My thumb obviously is a little bit bigger. But like, I usually make rings with the ring mold that I have, but for some reason the ring mold that I have are all the same size. I'd like to find a ring mold that has different sizes in it, so I might look for something like that. But if you don't have a mold, I would just maybe grab maybe a couple of polish bottles that are all different sizes and just practice with it, and then you can see kind of what size bottle. When you make the ring, you'll be able to see which finger it fits. So I would probably grab a bottle just to practice with, grab a small amount of polygel, practice with it, see if it fits your finger. Obviously, if that size doesn't fit your finger, you're not going to use that polish bottle anymore. So try to find a polish bottle that is a little bit bigger and thicker. If you have bigger fingers, I would recommend. You just saw that I was trying to kind of scrape away any extra polygel so it's easier for me to get the ring off the bottle. So that's what I was trying to do. I hope that you are able to create some polygel rings of your own. This trend is going super viral and I had to try it out. I'm probably a little bit late, but I'd rather make it on that train. I'd rather make it than miss it, right? So I had to try out these polygel rings. I had never tried the polygel ring trend. I only was making, I had made resin rings in the past, which again, I don't think I ever made a video on because I just wanted to show you guys the final result. I didn't think that really anybody would be super interested in watching me make resin rings, but if you are, please let me know. I think for now, this is a lot of fun with the polygel, and I will continue making some polygel rings. I do want to get back into making clay or doing clay crafts. I can't tell you how many organizers I have full of clay creations. I used to do that many years ago, and I was thinking of getting back into it again, maybe just to make some clay rings. So that might be something that I want to get into again. I think that I might revisit these rings back and get into the crevices with maybe my electric file, because I think it might be a little bit easier for me to file with the e-file. So I'm definitely going to, probably off camera, kind of reshape these rings and just make sure that there's nothing sticking out. And I just want to make sure that I can really, maintain that shape of the ring. Like I want the heart to really look like a heart. So I might get in there and really kind of buff it up and just make sure that the ring is shaped correctly how I want it. And it might take you a little bit, but I definitely think it's worth it. And for sure I recommend wearing a mask. And I didn't have my dust collector out with me, but I definitely was wearing a mask. You do not want to inhale any of this dust. So I'm just filing away. Sorry if I got off camera a little bit, but I'm showing you step by step as I go what the ring looks like. Like I said, I think I might go back in with my e-file and just make sure that everything is the way that I want it to look. Look how cute this ring is, and it fits my middle finger. Super cute. I know it's super dusty. I'm not done with it yet. We are going to top coat it, and before that we are going to remove all of the dust. You do not want to top coat it if it's super dusty, so try your best and remove all of the dust that you can, even in the little crevices. You want to make sure that you get all of that dust out. So I used Faux polygel. I'm just going to be using the Faux top coat to top coat the rest of the ring. I'm going to be very careful to try not to get any top coat on the bottle because I don't want it to stick to the bottle again. So I'm just using my brush here to just get on the ring and try my best to not touch the bottle. Now you do not have to top coat it. You don't have to make it shiny. In fact, you can use a matte top coat and make the ring matte as well. I think that would look really cool. I haven't tried that yet, but that's something else that you can do. I do have resin, but it's the mixing one, and I have to do ratios. But if I had some UV resin, I definitely would have coated these rings that I made today with some resin just so that they can be a little bit sturdy and last a little bit longer. But I don't have any UV resin with me. But that's another idea that you can do. You can just take a little brush with some UV resin and kind of do the same thing that you do when you are adding your top coat. You just want to brush on some UV resin, and that'll add even more strength and shine to your rings. Please stay tuned because I am going to be reviewing these chrome gel paints. Please stay tuned for that. I have yet to review those. I did review these acrylic pens. If you did not see that, please go check out that video. It is a good one. Subscribe and like this video if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.